Let's see it.
Failing. I'm failing at this. Hey, stop. I'm trying to film. Okay, I guess I have to film with Ocean now. Hi, I'm Carla and this is Ocean. She's clearly. I'm trying to. Hey, stop working. Oh my god. Shh. Hi guys, I'm Carla. This is Ocean and this is our first live. Okay. So today I'll be showing you how to create a wedding dress. I've been making wedding dresses for 3 or 4 years now, but my experience in evening wear goes back to year 2007. It's been a while. That's counting school, by the way. Yeah, I've always loved making evening wear. I feel like it's definitely forte. And yes, I thought, you know what, I'm already making wedding dresses for clients, might as well start recording the process and all of that, because I feel like, I don't know, I want to be able to share my knowledge, the things that I learned, not just in school, but also while working for a designer, or working as a designer myself. I'm not really sure how this goes. I guess we're gonna figure it out as we go. Again, it's my first video, so please stay with me. Yes. So let's begin. So I've been saving this beautiful beaded fabric for a while now. I've been wanting to make a dress out of her. I just couldn't decide what design, and also I was slightly intimidated because it was kind of expensive. Luckily for this dress, she will be reusable. Hey! I have a couple yards of this one, which should be enough for a top, and then I have some of this high compression nude knit fabric that we can use probably for lining, and then I have quite a lot of this georgette fabric that should be enough for maybe a circle skirt. You know, we're gonna do something flowy and flirty, maybe add a slit on there. And then I have this French lace. I have a couple yards left of this too. I really like this one. I think I'm gonna have this behind the beaded fabric. I just like it together. I feel like it adds depth. So I'll be completely honest with you guys, I didn't even really create the sketch until after I made the top. So like the pleats on the shoulder was not part of the plan originally, but as I was making the dress, I tried it on. It just felt a little too wide up there, so I figured add the pleats to make it look a little dainty and thin. We are gonna go with the high slit on the left leg for the skirt. To drape, I'm actually using the same exact fabric I'll be using to line the bodice with, since I don't really have any other fabrics with very similar stretch as the beaded one. Oh, and yes, I may have forgotten to mention that the beaded fabric does have a one-way stretch. So since our fabrics are fairly stretchy and the top is backless, I won't even bother adding side seams this time, although I will go ahead and mark those non-existent side seams and make sure that I also transfer those marks to my actual pieces, because first, I might need them in the future in case I need to take in the dress, and second, I need those notches anyway for when I sew the skirt to the bodice. once I'm happy with it, I basically just remove all the pins and then add my seam allowance, which is 1/2 inch, all around the actual piece. Also made sure that I transferred the apex. I actually dropped it by 1/2 inch. I'm not sure if you can see it on the video, but because on a natural body, on a real body, the bust is actually about 1/2 inch lower than the mannequin. And because I didn't realize that my camera actually stopped recording just when I started cutting the white knit and then the lace, just know that I repeated this process 2 other times. So that would be 4 total. So you're probably wondering, Besh, why so many pieces? Well, because our bodice will have 2 linings. One will be in white, which is going to be the fabric touching the skin when wearing it, and then followed by the nude, the lace, and the beaded one. I promise it will all make sense later. Now the not so fun part. So being that this fabric is heavily beaded, there is absolutely no way that we can sew this using the sewing machine. So what I'm doing here is basically adding the style tape onto my fabric as my guide. Because what I'm going to do now is I'm going to remove all the beads and the pearls from all the seam allowance, at least 1/2 inch from the cut line. It's just going to be easier to sew. Trust me, you do not want to sew a beaded fabric using your industrial machine or home sewing machine. Otherwise, you're going to end up with a lot of broken needles, if not a broken machine. So I know this is a lot of work, but it is what it is. This process took me about almost 4 hours. Because this process needs to be done carefully, that way I don't end up with holes in my dress. You definitely don't want that, and especially because the beads and pearls were sewn with clear nylon thread, which can be quite challenging to see. But it is possible. This would be the perfect time to play a little bit of Netflix or maybe listen to your favorite podcast. And obviously, this is what I did the rest of the day. Just removing the beads and the pearls. I then put together the nude, the lace, and the self fabrics with all right sides facing up and base stitch all around it. I'm also going to go ahead and close up all the darts while I'm at it, because we'll be treating this piece as one from here on out. I also went ahead and close up the darts on the lining and put the pieces right sides together and sewed all around the piece. I also made sure that I sandwiched the strings, or the straps rather, in between the lining and the self. So normally, if I were making this for a client, I'd also be sewing the back ends of the straps to the back bodice according to my client's measurements. But because this is a sample, I want to be able to have some room to play with the length of the straps without the risk of puncturing the dress by sewing and unsewing it all over again. Especially because the beaded fabric itself is quite delicate. So this is why I opted for 2 linings. Being that our self and the lace together are still quite see-through, and I don't want to see any of that seam allowance, using the nude hides all of that and makes the bodice look like it's see-through without it being actually see-through, if that makes sense. And voila, there she is. Thank you guys so much for watching. Do subscribe to get notified when I post the second video where I show you guys how to make the skirt without using any patterns.